The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster Sampler that includes all the meat and 4 sides, mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn, or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
This man needs medical attention.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
The old method of treatment for a person in this condition was to throw him in jail.
98 WWBD.
What would Brady do? All right. It is time now for the most moral man in Phoenix to do his business on you. That doesn't sound as good as I wanted it to.
How many cc's is that?
Hey, Brady, do the math on how many cc's you have. Well, the big audience. The only way this works, and how ironic is it that the one audience that would love to do that is the KDKB audience, and we don't need that many cc's for that because our audience is so small. Boy, if there's one station in this town that wants to do its business on you, it's 93.3, and there's nobody to listen. My friend Marty, guitarist for Sodomizing Linda, texted and said, man, to be able to berate a total stranger about being a whore for 10 minutes as Lou Holtz is quite a talent, John. I want you all to try that today. Create a character in your own mind at your office and her over to some lady, and for 10 minutes just call her a whore and have her burn in hell and see what happens at your work. Because my work, I actually get a bonus. That usually leads to better ratings, and we get more money for it. You're welcome. That's all I can say. It's a dream job. I told that to my counselor at Dobson. It's like, what do you want to do? I'm going to tell people their biggest fears and flaws, like as other people, as a character. Maybe damn them to hell and call them sluts for taking too much C.
You missed your calling as a priest.
Yeah, that's what he said. And he actually told me, the Catholics need you. No, I got plenty of those. I want to be
my
unique.
buddy Father Dale.
Let me introduce you to a friend. Brady, are you ready?
Ready.
All right. What Would Brady Do is brought to you by our friends at M&P. Is that the right one? Yeah, M&P Guns. Yeah,
yes.
I was thinking about, where are we today? It's Monday. M&P Guns. We just had lunch with Byron and Eric and the guys over there, and I think the one thing that's missing from their entire establishment is a truck that really says what they do. I don't know if you guys saw it outside.
The billboard?
The billboard was unbelievable. It's like an F950. It's humongous, and it just says M&P Guns all over it, and it looks great, but I'm like, wow. No questioning what you guys are up to. This is pretty great. So they're pretty great guys, and we're just happy to know them. They got this system going. They're moving all their stuff out of M&P Guns right there on 12th Street and Indian School into their store, which is now right behind their other store. Yeah. So they're getting close. All the deals are happening right now, and if you want to go grab anything pertaining to guns, and that's all the side stuff, all the ammo, the guns themselves, they'll build you an AR-15. They're qualified and have that kind of thing going. So they got it all. M&P Guns, 12th Street.
I went in there on Friday, actually, yeah, I mean they are still they're trying to move everything out of there, but they are still stacked, and like up to 35% off on a lot of firearms and stuff like that. And they still have tons of ammo. I bought a case of ammo for just
fun.
The stash aside.
All right,
yeah.
I'm not asking questions, Brett. I'm not asking questions.
I don't want to give too much away.
It's America. You're allowed to own that stuff. What you do with it after, that's up to you.
But they got it all, so check them out.
I guess say Twitter world, not going to Brett's house. Sounds like the real killer lives there.
OJ's not coming.
Mark that off the list. Can't go to Brett's or Los Angeles. Are you ready, Brady?
Ready.
All right, how about this one? Dear Brady, so my girlfriend and I have this couple that wants us to stay with them in Rocky Point. But I'm like John. I need my own room. This is upsetting them. And you know why? They both have the pineapple swimsuits, Brady. Hers is very revealing, and she looks good. But I don't want to swing. I do want to go on the trip, though. What would Brady do?
Tell them we're not a swinging couple.
But do you want to stay in the same room? You'd stay in the same room with people. That's a weird.
If they're swingers and we're not swinging, I'm surprised they would still want them there if they weren't swingers.
Well, swingers hang with other people. They can find swingers in Mexico.
If they can handle it, then I don't see that hard of a thing.
Why can't you tell? Maybe he thinks, though, that if they're not going to stay in the same room and they're not going to swing. Sounds to me like the swingers are paying.
Yeah, if they're the host.
Because if you want your own room, get your own room. But it sounds to me like he doesn't have options, which means
he was invited by them, and it would just look bad. But as long as they know, controlling the swingers' expectations, and they're cool with it, should be fine.
But, like, from what I read there, you do hear that he's saying, I want my own room, but that means they won't pay for him.
Little bonus incentive for the swingers, though. You know, no, that's cool. Get them down there, a couple of cocktails.
Next thing you know,
hey.
If I'm the swinger couple and I'm trying to trap them into a swinger rape, I guess that would be.
Yeah.
I would say, we tried to get your own room. They're all booked up. You got to stay with us after all. Mm-hmm.
If you want your own room, don't be a broke dick.
That's
just
what
pay
I'm saying.
for
Get your own room.
If you're not
Bigger thing is, you can tell the swinging couple we don't swing, and I don't want to stay in the same room as you. But they may not be swingers. You just sound
maybe
cheap.
It's their place too, because if you're on a certain beach,
that's true.
You know, then
timeshare stuff.
Yes,
yeah, that could
and
be
so
too.
The resorts are
good point.
More of a pain, further away from each other.
Good thinking. So now, what he assumes is the swingers have invited them down to a condo. He didn't make that point clear. That's probably true. You're probably right. Do you still go? If swingers invited
depends on
you,
what kind of friend I am with the swingers. Randomly, I'm saying, well, nope, I don't see us having that in common, and that could be a deal breaker.
And what she looks like in that pineapple bathing suit too.
Yeah. Now, what if she's smoking hot? Like
a little more
ridiculous.
tempting.
Do you try to at least,
but then
you try to at least talk some people into this particular situation?
We've never tried it before. How do we know we don't like spaghetti unless we eat spaghetti?
I swung my white. Now you got other troubles.
Not if you
or the other way around.
Or that.
The cucking.
Yeah, you have to watch.
The cucking weekend.
What if they just made you watch? Oh, that would stink.
I got cocked. I didn't see that coming, stupid.
If you're not a swinger, don't hang out with swingers because they're going to invite you to stuff. That's the sucky part about friendly swingers. They always have apartments in cool places.
Usually
in
they're
Mexico.
not hanging out. They might have some outsiders, but a swinging couple wouldn't invite non-swingers unless they feel like, I think we can get them.
Honestly,
I think that's the way it is. Yeah, they think they're going to be able to convert them. Yep.
But good swingers always have a cool beachside pad and like a great backyard. And like good swingers have a nice selling platform. It seems like I really want to hang out with you at that beach house. What do I have to do?
And maybe they don't want to swing that weekend. They just want to enjoy it for a weekend.
Maybe you'll get lucky and the swingers on their period. And you don't want to paint the room red, or the town, wherever you're doing it. Yeah, just get your own room or tell them, hey, if we're swinging, not interested. If you're asking me, ain't going because I don't want to live with some people that I'm not real familiar with. I don't want to live with people I am familiar with for more than 3 hours.
Maybe, they want to go down there, too. They can get a better deal on Bactavi or whatever that's called, the drug.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Bactari. The HIV drug. It's not good for everybody, Brady. Only the men.
They can get the generic for nothing.
You can bear it in each other as dudes with Bactari. The ladies. Not that. I learned that from TV. Yeah, I don't want to go. That's my best friend forever, since 5th grade, always says, we should go on a trip and we'll get like an Airbnb. I'm like, I don't want to live with you ever, for a day. I shared a room with him and the R and his son, and they're big enough, and it's dudes, so it was the three of us. 18-year-old kid slept on the couch. He had his own bedroom. I had my own bedroom. It's a big enough room. And even still, I'm like, I don't want them in here all the time. If girls were involved, I don't want to live in the same room with you. I'm way beyond that. I can't do it. So that guy's just like me. Don't go. Dear Brady, would you date a woman whose daughter you have slept with? My coworker is 49 years old. She has a 23-year-old with whom earlier this year I bedded 8 times over a period of 2 weeks. Nice. It fizzled out. There was no harm, no foul. Everyone moved on quite gracefully. Like I said, I work with her mother. Her mom's the one who set us up, actually. I'm 29, kind of in between the two of them. Since the classy breakup, the mom has said really nice things to me and said she admires my character, wishes more men were like me, all that stuff. She liked how well I handled the situation. Clearly, she's developed a high case of the feels for me and my high-class ways. It's a go, and she still looks great. Kind of into cougars. Do I make this happen, or is my past haunting me, Christopher?
I'm not doing it.
You don't do it?
It sounds a little too weird for me that the previous with
you bone
daughter,
somebody's
any,
daughter.
family member alone is a tough situation.
I'm doing it for the story.
The story's pretty solid.
Yeah.
And it is because Mom, it's not because you were like being all weird. Time has passed. There's a gap in between. You betted her daughter.
And Mom knows you betted her daughter.
Right.
So,
She
okay
asked
with
you
it.
to.
Yeah.
She is. It's too weird for
Every
me.
time a mother says, I'd like you to meet my daughter, she's saying, I'd like you to be the one that my daughter next. That's what she's saying because she knows that's happening. So if I were
the dad,
like,
same thing.
Someday
Sorry,
you
this
that
guy, you should date him.
you should meet my daughter is what you're saying is, oh, I like this kid. You should my daughter soon. I don't understand why parents ever set their daughters up with anybody. I've heard them say, oh, they should meet. Ugh.
Well, because eventually they are going to meet somebody.
Right,
and if
but
you
as a
can have
parent, you're still saying, hey, this kid at work, I'd love for you to taste his D, is essentially what you're saying.
let's get it out of the way and just be blatant about it.
Right, well, you're saying the same things.
Yeah.
You're trying to be all classy about it, but if it works out, that's exactly what you're hoping for. I love these guys. I really think your son is great.
I think he's got a good D.
I'd love to have my daughter grab hold of that D, a handful of that. You know what? I'll talk to her tonight. We'll get these kids together. And if you were right, what works out is they start grabbing each other's junk because mom and dad
and daughters are turning
it.
around like, Mom, I'll take referrals. If you recommend some D's for me.
Creepy because they're asking mom to be your D-upper. Ugh. Parents should never have a say in that. But I'm with Brett. I think you got to go after this.
Story alone is worth it.
And then you can tell your friends, you know what? Mom was tighter.
Oh, I got a story for you, man. I banged
I
her
got a story
daughter,
for
then I
you.
banged her mom.
Not
because I'm
only-
a classy guy.
It is classy because the mom is the one who's not classy. She sold her daughter to you, didn't work out, and now she's like, you know what? I want that.
Mom went from being a pimp to the whore.
Yeah. Christopher, you got to do this. Brady's wrong. You asked what would Brady do, not do I have to do everything Brady does. You just asked what Brady. Brady said he wouldn't do it.
Opinion.
Other dudes in the room are like, oh my goodness. I mean, 49's wildly expired, but give it a run. That's a big glass of old milk.
Oh, yeah.
49's fine if you've been with it for a long time. 49 new,
There's no such thing.
it's like driving a Yugo. Nobody wants to do it. Sometimes it gets you from A to B. That's not fair to Yugo. Yugos are nicer than that.
Oh, gee.
Dear Brady, I have a coworker who is very funny. He calls me the Jew. My last name is a color. I'm not going to say it. So he assumed that I was Jewish. And for some reason, after about 8 months, it's bothering me to no end. First off, I'm not Jewish. Second, I feel like it's racist, but not to me, so I don't know why I'm mad. Third, I have no clue what to do about this. I told him I didn't like it, and he left it alone for a while, but I also left it alone for so long that most of the other cool people in the office call me the Jew now. So when I told him to stop, no one else did, so he's just back at it. I called him out. He did stop, but he's doing it again. I feel like I'm the racist because I don't want to be called a Jew. Why is that so bad? I'm confused, Jamie. Well, that's not helping. Miss Jaime. This racist coworker of yours that you let get away with this for a while. Jaime Gold.
Again, it depends on the working situation there. If he's complaining and saying, knock it off.
Quit calling me the Jew.
Yeah, you got to.
Right.
He's got a case in point there. The guy needs to knock it off.
Well, he did,
alone-
but all the other people kept calling him that.
And it's one of those things that you're not being racist. You're clarifying that
Yeah.
I'm being called this. I'm
I'm
really
uncomfortable with it. Remember that guy?
Because there's got to be a certain point where you can laugh at it and run with it. And then people are like, are you Jewish? No. Oh, that's hilarious.
It's even funnier.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't want to be the office uptight guy. He's like, stop, everybody stop calling me a Jew. I don't like it. And I'm like, why, do you hate Jews? God damn it, I knew this would backfire. And that guy, were you there at my golf hole at the Heat Stroke Open a couple years ago? when I think Jimmy Wisman was at the heckling hole, the comedian Jimmy, and I was over at this other. I was doing the thing because I've taken over the roast hole, and then we just made that heckling hole like squirting water guns and stuff, so I could kind of maintain and monitor what was being said. And we got pretty bad, but still nothing like Jimmy. There was a guy in a turban, and they were making terrorist jokes like crazy. Of course, that's what you do at a heckle hole or a roast hole, right? So dude comes up to my thing, and one of the guys comes up to me, and he goes, hey, see that man over there? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that hole over there where that comedian was got way out of hand with him being a terrorist. He's a Sikh. He's a peace-loving individual. And I'm like, yeah, but you all took a shot. Like everybody, like I'm sure he went after you for having a white hair and a beard. No, I can take it, but that was rude. And this guy over here didn't like to deal with it. So I went over to him like, look, I know you don't know what you're part of, and blah blah blah. And I'm sorry if you were offended. And he goes, well, who are you? And I said, oh, my name's John Holmberg. I said, this is kind of, and I pointed to the big inflatable of my head. Yeah. And I'm like, that's me. It's kind
that's
of
me.
Yeah, I didn't do it proud. I was like, that's me. I'm kind of representative of the whole thing. And the guy goes, oh, you're the Jew that put this whole thing on? And I'm like, now hang on just a second. And I was mad for like 9 reasons. None of them were me. Like, I'm not Jewish, but I'm like, well, that shouldn't make you mad. That's not so bad. To be Jewish isn't something I should be mad at. Somebody called me the Jew, and I'm like, well, you can't be mad.
Reverse roasting.
That's what I said. You can't be mad. You can't be mad, raghead, for calling. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't do this stuff. We're going back and forth. And he wasn't kidding.
And that's funny, but you understood where he's coming from.
Well, I didn't know what I was mad at.
Because you're not Jewish.
I was mad at the hypocrisy.
Yelling at he's being a terrorist, but he's a Sikh.
Sure. I was mad at the hypocrisy.
I thought he was, when he was doing it, I thought he almost was doing that as a joke to get you, but it wasn't.
It was dead serious because I laughed at first like, that's funny, but I'm like, wait a minute.
It wasn't supposed to be
deadpan,
funny.
and all of them were like, and then they walked away, and I'm like, hold on, I'm not Jewish. Like, that was the big offense. I'm like, no, not that there's anything wrong. So I understand that, but I mean, at least in my situation, I had hypocrisy to be mad at. If I let everybody call me the Jew for years and years.
You're the Jew that runs it.
Yeah. Oh, he's the Jew that runs this thing. I'm like, no, hold on a second, peace-loving Sikh. I ain't no Jew. And that was like, why am I mad at the wrong thing?
And it's not really a
I got all twisted
slur
up.
either.
No, I don't know what it is, but I got all twisted up with what I was angry at.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad. I thought it was funny. I'm like, this isn't funny. He's serious. Oh, hold on, you. Get over here. Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't have any Jewish blood in me. I know, maybe Oscar Bonnie. Everybody's got that.
And it's, obviously for him, it's tougher because it's like immediately most Americans are clueless.
Right.
See that, see a turban or anything that looks like it.
I think he just got all racist. Like, we at least called ours the joke heckle hole. You show up. Fire one off at me. I'm trying to give away a tuft and needle mattress for closest to the hole here. What the hell's wrong with you?
Still hilarious.
But it was pretty funny. And then he drove away, and I'm looking at everybody else, and their mouths, like everybody at the Humane Society is looking at me like, what just happened? The Sailor Jerry girls are like, wow, it was horrible. I'm like, you're telling me? Hooters was at my hole that year, and like, oh my God, that guy called you a name. Like, I heard it. Are you all right? I'm not Jewish. It doesn't bother me.
You're the Jew.
But I was mad. Like, immediately.
You wanted to clear it up.
Well, but I don't know what to clear up. Hey, with the name calling. I'm like, he didn't call me a name.
No.
It was really awkward. And I walked away like I'd lost that battle. Finally, Dear Brady, I went to dinner Friday, and it's a place I absolutely love. But the waiter was new. And honestly, beneath the standard of this particular establishment. Clearly a crystal methamphetamine addict.
Ah.
I mean, that's absolutely guaranteed. Tattoos, thumb in the water, eyes were gross. His jaw was dancing all over the place. So the debate began. Do we tell management? Do we make a call? Do we Yelp? Do we just stop going to this fantastic place? Because if this is front of the house, what's in the back? What would Brady do? Ray and his friends.
Man.
Yeah. Meth later.
My immediate thought was, well, it's the last time I'm coming here.
It is.
But then at the same time, it depends on if I like it that much.
Yeah.
I might say something.
But if you tell and you go back and he's still there.
Then you're here's this guy now.
Right. Now you're eating boogers and...
You got to take that thumb in the water and keep going back.
Thumb in the water I'd complain about.
Yeah.
I'd never mention that the waiter was beneath the standards that I have set for humanity, which are definitely something.
That one is...
That's a toughie. If the staff's filthy, I think you have to stop going because although it's so hard to get people to work right now, like waiters and waitresses, there's this one place that has a sign up that says, due to government handouts, no one wants to work anymore. Oh, so we're short-staffed. It's true.
It is. No, it is. But I mean, just for them to say it
but
out
I mean,
loud,
you say it,
great.
boom, put it on the door.
Yeah.
So we're short-staffed. So service is going to be slower than normal and less than our standard. We can't get anybody to show up and be a waiter because everybody's getting free cake. So maybe that's the case. It's like we're taking people that normally wouldn't be hired and filling slots just to keep bodies warm in the place.
I'm going back, but I'm making sure that I don't have that person as the...
No, here's the thing. What if it's one of those places where there's like 5 or 6 folks coming to your table? Because a lot of places don't have a single waiter anymore. You get like helpers.
Yeah.
Like you have a group.
Like it's pooling.
Yeah. Like you get the one person that takes your order, the other person comes by, makes sure this is all taken care of. Another person drops the food off. A drink specialist.
No one's better at it than Houston's.
Houston's amazing. You get like a leader and then like 7 other people show up.
It's a machine.
It is.
No methy there, though.
But think of that. Hillstone hires a methy. Would you say something?
It's a tough one, but there's a big part of me that said yes, I would.
Yeah, it's tough.
Especially if I was a regular at that place, and because I know coming from having a place at one time.
Yeah.
You like hearing something like that. What, they're doing that?
But you know also as an owner, you hired a meth head. You know that. You're looking at a dude who's messy, and you're like, these are beneath our standards, but I need somebody.
Correct. Doesn't matter. They still need to know, don't thumb the water.
Right. Well, thumbs in the water's bad.
Yeah.
You should have told the guy at the table, thumbs in the water. Hey, thumb in the water. Get that out of here. I had that at a place in
most
Hawaii.
of them know that. Sometimes, if it happens, they didn't realize it, or they need that one time to be told.
We went to a very nice place in Kauai, 4 people, and my glass had a big lipstick thing on it. It happens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, our glasses are, well, and it was a friend's wedding. So we went out with it was Megan's sister, actually. They brought their own big, expensive glass of or bottle of wine and gave it to the restaurant earlier that day and said, we like this kind of thing presented at the table. It's kind of very nice. Thank you to us for hanging out with them. So they bring this, and the wine glasses were filthy, and one had lipstick on it. And we said, could we get new wine glasses? These are really dirty. I'm like, oh, we're so sorry. And they leave, and they come back, and you can see where the lipstick had been just rubbed.
Oh,
like they just went and tried to rub it off, but it smeared it. And I'm like, all right. And that whole night was just the worst. We were sitting at a table, and I looked over under the shelf behind us, and there's bugs, dead bugs everywhere. Ooh. And just gross. And I'm like, can we sit somewhere else? Because I'm not a complainer, but the place wasn't that full. And I'm like, this is bad. And the guy, that is terrible. I'm like big, fat roaches, too, not baby bugs, like thick. I'm like, I just don't want to look at this. And now that I've seen it, I'm not going to be able to stop. And oh, certainly. And they moved us. And I knew we were in trouble because they moved us to a table. And then within like a second, sat that same table without cleaning any of those bugs. And I'm like, oh, this place is gross. It looked nice, but dig a little deeper. So you do or do not say, hey, I like coming here, but you're hiring.
I'm saying something about the thumb in the waters.
Yeah.
To that person. A lot of times I've had it where you joke, whoa, hey, digits in the water.
Yeah. Do you tell the people like now? Because let's say he went Saturday. Do you go back next time and go, last time we were here, our waiter was on meth?
Too late now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you see him do you say, I don't want that guy touching my food?
If I know the manager or the owner.
But you don't.
Yeah. No. You can take your lumps.
But then are you worried about coming in the next time?
Absolutely.
And then
you can't.
Guy
exactly. That's why you have to tell.
And
that's why you have to know either the owner or the manager and deliver it.
That's why Brady always meets them.
I just wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
I just couldn't deal with that.
That's right. Swithbert was at my he was at the hole where Jimmy was making fun of that guy. He said, I was with Jimmy when that group came through at the heckle hole, and he started lipping off to me like I had any pull. He said, and then he put hands on Short Bus. That was quite a crew we'd hired to be the hecklers that year. Wisman, Short Bus, and Wisman. Or Swithbert, sorry. Was Wisman there? Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy
he
was there. That was the one. He was the one who called because something funny happened. So Jimmy must have been the one there, because otherwise it was Swiftbert and Short Bus. Anyway, well, there you go. That's a tough one. But like I've always said, having worked in the restaurant business, if they bring you a plate of human and say, here's your meal, push it away and say, thank you. You send it back.
Just not hungry.
If they're willing to send you something awful to start, imagine what they're going to do when you complain about it. So that's when you just have to put your hands up and go, this place is no good anymore. Because if they're putting meth heads out as waiters, the kitchen staff is abysmal.
Wrong order's okay.
Wrong order's a little different, but still.
It's like, oh, that's my fault.
Right.
We
I still
did the
won't send
wrong
it back.
thing. Really?
No, I
Even
ordered.
if it's completely wrong?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not pissing off that. I've seen the cooks and they'll stab people. I'm not doing that. I was at the Breakfast Club with TV's Doug Hopkins on Walkabout once. We went in there and I ordered something. Egg, sausage, and just a basic breakfast. And this thing comes, hollandaise and ham. And I'm like, what is this? She goes, oh, that's totally wrong. I'm like, that's fine.
I did that last time.
We're good. I'll just eat this. I'm like, I'm not. Because the cooks were very busy. And the last thing they need is a refire. Because guess what I'm eating at that point? Boogers. And I don't care that it's not. The waitress isn't going to do it. The cooks are. They're the ones strapped. Anyway, there you go, everybody. That is how Brady solved problems. And don't call people the Jew at work. It's 2021. Just don't. Isn't that right, Larry? 98 KUPD. That was what Brady did. Listen.
Pathetic.
98
That's it. That's bonkers!
KUPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.